today we will talk about lakes. There are many lakes in India. Freshwater lakes are found more in the Himalayan region. So we have lot of lakes in India, as you all already know. And freshwater lakes, which are made up of fresh water, are usually found in the Himalayan region. Most of the lakes contain water during rainy season. So these lakes, where does the water come from? From the rains. In Kashmir, glacial lakes are found. Okay, in Kashmir, glacial lakes are found, meaning when the snow melts, okay, from that the lakes are made. A few lakes are formed due to wind, river and human actions. So certain times lakes are made because of the wind, because of the rivers, because human beings dig and create a lake. In rivers having many meanders, oxbow lakes are formed. So with rivers, there are various shapes of lakes formed. So one shape is meanders and the other shape is oxbow. Lakes are formed with sea tides are called lagoon. So with the help of the sea tides એટલે જે મોજા હોય દરિયાના એનેથી જે લેક બને, it's called as lagoon. Chilka, Kolru, Pulkit are the example of these types of lakes. Sambar Lake in Rajasthan is a saline lake and salt water is produced from it. Saline એટલે it's salty and from that salt water is produced. Himalaya has many freshwater lakes which are formed due to glacial actions. Glacial actions એટલે melting of ice. Water is filled in the depression which leads to formation of lake. Depression એટલે જે ground હોય એની અંદર there is a hole and on that these water goes and lakes are formed. Beautiful lakes are formed due to melting of snow. Vular Lake in Kashmir has tectonic origin. Other freshwater lakes in this area are Dal, Bhimtal, Loktal and Badai. Don't learn this part. Okay, this Vulkar Lake in Kashmir has tectonic region, just remove that. And other fresh lakes in of this area are Dal, Bhimtal, Loktal and Badapani. Okay, now we will talk about the importance of lakes. Lakes are useful to man in many ways. Some rivers are originated from the lakes. So lakes has lot of importance. Certain rivers originate from lake. In this region which have more rain, water is accumulated in the lake. So whichever places gets lot of rainfall, water gets stored in these lakes. The accumulated water can be utilized for irrigation and other purpose. Irrigation એટલે for farming. So this water is used which is by the lake in farming. The stored water can also be used during drought. Drought એટલે જ્યારે there is no rain, or let's say ki this year it didn't rain, so you can use the water from the lake to help in agriculture. Reservoirs and lakes formed due to dam are useful in generating hydel power. Hydel power એટલે electricity produced from water is called as hydel power. So from lakes and from reservoirs are also like lakes only. From those two things you can produce hydroelectricity or hydro power. Few lakes enhance natural beauty. So some lakes are very, very beautiful in nature. Hence such lakes have been developed as a tourist spot. So some lakes are very beautiful, so they are developed as a tourist spots. Lakes are also important for fishery એટલે for fishing and tourist resorts. Okay, so for resorts, for tourists, lakes are very important. Next is economic importance of river. Rivers are remained as the most important during human history. So in human history, rivers are very, very important. Rivers are natural resources of water. Okay, so rivers are something which is natural resource for water. It's through which you get water. They are very important for human activities. It is satisfied basic need of man. Okay, so river they satisfy the basic need of human beings. Agriculture and industries have developed due to rivers. Okay, even in industries you need water, even in agriculture you need water. So for that rivers are useful. Ancient civilization has flourished along the rivers. So if you look at Indus Valley civilization, Harappan civilization, Mohenjo-daro civilization, they all were formed at the river. Major cities have developed next to the river like Delhi, Kolkata, Ahmedabad, Bharuch, Surat, etc. So major cities development happens next to the river. River is considered to be the base for agrarian country like India. Agrarian country એટલે agriculture country like India. We depend on rivers. In recent time, river water is utilized for drinking, irrigation, hydel power, navigation, all these. So river water is used for all these things. River pollution. River water is used more in domestic activities, okay, like kapda dhowa mate, for cooking and all those things. Agriculture and in industrial production. So in agriculture also you use river water. Even in industries you use water. We know that rivers are, as Lok Mata, consider it to be a very holy, and yet we release industrial effluents in the river. So what they are saying, that we worship rivers. If you look at Yamuna, Ganga, we worship rivers and we consider it as our mother. But what we do is that we throw all the industrial waste into the river. So instead of effluents, you can write industrial waste. So all the waste that is generated in industry, in the factory, all of that we dump in the rivers. The sewage water is dumped into the river near the city. Sewage water એટલે ગટરનું પાણી is also dumped inside the river in the city. Besides, we also throw solid waste in the river. Okay, obviously ઘણીવાર લોકો નાળિયેર, ગણેશ ચતુર્થી આવે તો ગણેશ ચતુર્થીની લાઈક વિસર્જનની મૂર્તિઓ બી આપણે પાણીમાં ડમ્પ કરી દઈએ. So it creates pollution. As a result, river water is polluted. Thus, water pollution increases due to industrialization and urbanization. Industrialization is like growth of industries, and urbanization meaning growth of cities. So, because of growth, over increase in growth of cities and industries, rivers are getting polluted because we are throwing all the kachra in the river. Pollution of river water has become our national problem. Okay, it's become a big problem in the nation. Government is putting special efforts to prevent river pollution. So government is making efforts, is doing things to prevent water from getting polluted. We know that like we clean the river and all those things, but still, like in the end, people still throw waste over there. Just go to, like this, we are talking about river pollution, right? Just go to Kuda Lake. Okay, it's so dirty, you won't even feel like putting your leg inside that water. It's so black in color. Okay. At this stage, public participation is equally expected along with government's effort. So they are trying to say is that government can do as much as they like to save river from getting polluted. But we as the citizens of the country also should work towards protection of these rivers. Measures to prevent water pollution. Now what can you do to prevent water from getting polluted? Rules to prevent water pollution should be implemented very strictly. So strict rules and regulations should be there in order to control water pollution. Water purification projects must be implemented through National River Conservation Project. So what is they are talking, that you should try to purify the river water which has been polluted through this project which is called as National River Conservation Project. Strict rules should be formed to prevent industrial units from releasing industrial effluents in the rivers. Again, you can write waste over here. So what they are trying to say is that strict rules and regulations should be made to stop the industries from putting their waste into the river. Industrial units should filter harmful contents from the chemical influence before releasing them in the river. So what they are saying, that industrial factories and industries which are there, they should first filter all the harmful chemicals and then release it. Okay. In order to keep river water clean, every citizen should take care to not mix up domestic waste into the river. So as the citizens of the country, we should not throw our ghar ka waste into the river, and we should protect our rivers from getting polluted.